There's a simple secret that separates the highly successful from the rest. A principle so powerful that it has transformed ordinary businesses into global giants, turned struggling individuals into icons of success, and made the impossible seem effortless. Have you ever looked at a successful company or individual and thought, why them? Why not me? Is it because they're more talented, or were they just lucky? The truth may surprise you. It's neither. Their success isn't magic, and it's certainly not unattainable. It's the result of something anyone can learn and apply, the 80-20 principle. This principle reveals that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. Successful people don't work harder. They work smarter. They know how to focus their time, energy, and resources on what truly matters, cutting out distractions and noise. Imagine what your life could look like if you did the same. This isn't just another feel-good concept. It's a time-tested strategy that can revolutionize your business, your career, and even your personal happiness. In this book summary, you'll discover how to harness this principle to achieve more with less. More success, more freedom, more joy, with less stress and wasted effort. But here's the catch. The 80-20 principle only works if you're ready to embrace it. It's not about working harder. It's about working differently. Are you ready to challenge the way you think? To let go of what's holding you back and focus on what will move you forward? Stick with me until the end of this summary, and I promise it will be worth it. By the time we're done, you'll have the tools to take control of your life, achieve extraordinary results, and create a future that excites you. So, let's begin this life-changing journey together. George Bernard Shaw once said, "The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man." What does this mean? If you dare to think differently, you have the power to change anything. From childhood, most of us have been taught to believe that achieving what we want requires giving 100% effort every time. We've grown up assuming that our actions produce equal results, that every day, every customer, and every opportunity carries the same value. But this belief is flawed. If you still think that reaching 100% success requires 100% effort, it's time to upgrade your mindset. The way we think can reshape the way we live. Instead of working harder, we need to work smarter, focusing on how to achieve bigger results with less effort. Imagine how your job, happiness, and life would look if you mastered this. The 80-20 principle teaches us that 80% of results come from just 20% of efforts. What's even better, this principle can be applied to every area of your life. When you start thinking in terms of the 80-20 principle, you'll begin to see how you can achieve 80% of your profits with only 20% of your costs. But what about the other 80%? Is it unimportant? Not exactly. When you focus on identifying what's most important, you'll naturally discover what works for you and what doesn't. This clarity allows you to channel your time and energy into the areas that matter most. Now, picture the benefits of spending only 20% of your effort on something that used to consume 100% of your energy. How much more could you accomplish in less time? How drastically would your life change? The origins of this principle date back over 100 years to an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto. In the 19th century, Pareto began studying wealth distribution in England. He noticed something striking. Only a small portion of people were wealthy. Initially, this observation didn't surprise him. It was what he had expected. But as Pareto delved deeper into the relationship between wealth distribution and society, he discovered something remarkable. 20% of English citizens owned 80% of the wealth. This wasn't just a coincidence. Intrigued, Pareto extended his studies to different time periods and locations. To his surprise, the same rule applied consistently. No matter where or when he looked, wealth and other resources were distributed unevenly. Pareto began to wonder, could this principle apply to other areas of life, like economics or productivity? This curiosity marked the birth of the 80-20 principle, a rule that would later revolutionize how we think about effort and results. How to think 80-20. We've learned that small efforts can often yield big results, while large efforts sometimes lead to very little. This is the essence of the 80-20 principle. But how can you apply this principle to your life? The first step is to focus on your life, analyze it, and identify the changes that could improve it. The key is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. To think 80-20, you need to understand which tasks require the least effort but deliver the greatest results. Before you act, take a moment to think carefully. There are two ways to approach this. You can adopt an 80-20 mindset or analyze specific areas of your life that you want to improve. Once you identify the vital 20%, focus your energy on enhancing that part. Then, you can work on aligning the remaining 80% to follow the same principles. For example, the author shares a life-changing piece of advice given by one of his teachers. The teacher suggested, never read a book from start to finish unless you truly enjoy it. Instead, if you want to learn something from a book, approach it strategically. The teacher advised reading the conclusion first, followed by the introduction, and then revisiting the conclusion. Why? Because most books summarize their main ideas in these sections. This way, you save time while still grasping the key lessons. If you need more information from the book, simply skip to the specific sections that interest you. Reading an entire book is unnecessary unless it's truly valuable to you. The author realized that his teacher was encouraging him to learn more by reading less, a smart, efficient approach that saved both effort and time. Curious to test this method further, the author applied the 80-20 mindset to his exams. He analyzed 100 exam papers and discovered something fascinating. 80% of the questions came from just 20% of the material covered in class. At first, he thought this reflected poorly on the education system, but over time, he realized that his teachers might have been preparing him for the real world, where focusing on the most critical 20% often yields the best results. The underground cult. So, how has the 80-20 principle contributed to the world? You might be wondering where and how this principle has been applied. The truth is, it has already been used countless times, and often to revolutionary effect. The first major wave where this principle gained recognition was during the quality control wave. Businesses started applying the 80-20 principle to identify products that weren't generating profits. The results were astonishing. It became clear that by focusing on just 20% of the product features that truly mattered, the ones that customers valued most, they could generate 80% of their profits, and that too with significantly less effort. If this approach is so effective, why was poor quality still an issue for many products? The reason is simple. Not everyone was using the principle. Even today, the 80-20 principle remains a secret weapon for only a few, the world's most successful businesses. To apply this principle in your own business, you need to shift your focus. Instead of trying to perfect every aspect of your business, Concentrate on the areas that matter most. This means identifying the most profitable products, markets, and customers, and allocating your resources accordingly. A perfect example of this is the groundbreaking work of Joseph Juran in the 1950s. Juran spearheaded a revolution in quality control by advocating for businesses to study their underperforming products and identify the root causes of their failures. Once the problems were understood, he advised companies to focus on improving the most critical 20% of features, what he called the vital few. Juran argued that addressing these vital few qualities would dramatically improve product performance and sales. Instead of striving for 100% perfection, an impossible goal, businesses could achieve massive success by concentrating on what truly mattered to their customers. This approach proved incredibly effective. Japanese companies were among the first to embrace the 80-20 principle in quality control, and they quickly gained dominance in the global market by producing products that aligned perfectly with customer needs. This strategy reshaped the business world, forcing even companies in Western countries to adopt the 80-20 mindset. They shifted their focus from aiming for total or perfect quality to emphasizing the 20% of features that drove 80% of their profits. This principle didn't just improve products, it transformed industries. By focusing on what really matters, businesses learned to create more value with fewer resources, redefining success in the process. Why your strategy is wrong. You might believe that your company is giving its best, that you and your employees are putting in 100% effort. But here's the hard truth. You're probably wrong. Why? Because your strategy may not be working as effectively as you think. You might be asking, what's wrong with my strategy? The problem lies in a lack of clarity. Most businesses don't truly know where their profits come from or where they're losing money. And let's be honest, no one puts in this much effort just to scrape by with minimal results. What you need isn't an overview of your business. You need an underview. This means conducting a deep dive into how your business is actually performing and understanding the mechanics of your profits. You need to pinpoint the aspects of your business that generate the most revenue. This includes your products, your customers, and anything else that significantly contributes to your profits. Start by analyzing your sales data from the past month. Which products are selling the most? Who are your most loyal customers or customer groups? Once you've identified these high-performing elements, shift your energy and resources toward them. Stop spreading yourself thin across every aspect of your business. Instead, focus on the critical 20% that's delivering 80% of your results. Another effective approach is to study your competitors. A great example of this comes from a Georgia-based company called Interface Cooperation, which originally sold carpets. When they analyzed their business, they discovered something surprising. Only 20% of their customers were actually using the carpets they purchased. So, what did they do? Instead of focusing on selling more carpets, they pivoted their strategy. They shifted their focus to repairing carpets for customers who were actively using them. Customers would bring their damaged carpets to the company, and the employees would repair and reinstall them in their homes. This small shift made a big difference. By targeting carpet owners, those who truly valued their product, they turned a struggling business into an $800 million carpet supplier. This transformation is a powerful testament to the inner workings of the 80-20 principle. The lesson here is clear. Your business strategy shouldn't aim to please everyone or improve everything. Instead, focus on the few things that truly matter. the vital 20% that drives most of your success. That's the key to unlocking exponential growth with less effort. Simple is beautiful. Have you ever dreamed of running a business that generates nothing but profit? No losses, no unnecessary struggles, just pure success. Imagine this. You've analyzed your business, identified the 20% of factors that drive 80% of your profits, and now you're ready to act. The question is, what's next? This is where challenges arise. Many business owners find it hard to let go of the remaining 80%, the products, processes, or features that don't contribute meaningfully to their success. They resist the idea of focusing solely on the profitable 20%, clinging instead to the belief that abandoning underperforming aspects might be risky. But the truth is, holding on to these unproductive elements only holds you back. To truly thrive, you need to think differently. Don't resist change. Be the one who initiates it. And remember, simplicity doesn't mean thinking small or settling for less. It means letting go of what doesn't work, whether it's an unprofitable product, an unnecessary feature, or even an underperforming employee. Simplifying doesn't mean limiting your business to a small scale. You can expand to international markets while keeping things simple. However, targeting customers from diverse backgrounds might require slight adjustments to your products or services. The key is to stay focused on the 20% that truly matters. Be cautious not to overcomplicate things. Expanding recklessly can lead to losing more money than you make. Complexity always comes at a high cost. Gunter Rommel, who managed 39 companies, studied their performance to identify what made some of them more profitable than others. His findings were eye-opening. The most successful companies had fewer customers, fewer products, and fewer suppliers. The one quality they all shared was simplicity. Rommel concluded that simplicity is the common thread in all successful businesses. A simple, smart, and focused approach outperforms any complex strategy. So, once you've identified your critical 20%, focus entirely on it. Don't hesitate to let go of the things that don't matter. If you want to be successful, you must be brave. In the end, simplicity isn't just beautiful, it's essential. A streamlined, efficient business allows you to channel your energy and resources into what truly drives growth and profits. When you focus on the 20%, you're not just simplifying, you're setting yourself up for extraordinary success. Hooking the right customers. Before the 1960s, companies primarily focused on mass production, producing as much as possible to meet broad demand. But in 1960, Theodore Levitt published an article that revolutionized the way businesses thought about success. Instead of emphasizing products, Levitt argued for a shift toward marketing and customer satisfaction. By the 1990s, successful companies had adopted a customer-centered approach, studying the market to make decisions based on customer needs. This marked a major shift in business history. However, this strategy wasn't without its flaws. As companies expanded to satisfy different types of customers, their production and marketing costs skyrocketed. They were trying to cater to everyone, which isn't sustainable. So, how do you decide which customers to focus on? That's where the 80-20 principle comes in. Instead of trying to please everyone, businesses should focus on the customers who generate the most profit, the top 20%. Study their needs and create products or services so tailored to them that they wouldn't even consider going elsewhere. A great example of this is a broadcasting company that owned WQHT and WRKS radio stations. Their marketing strategy made them highly successful because they focused on a small but highly profitable segment of their audience, their most loyal listeners. How did they do it? By applying the 80-20 principle. They identified the 20% of listeners who tuned in regularly and made those individuals their target audience. Instead of trying to appeal to a wide range of listeners, they tailored their programming to cater specifically to their top audience's preferences. Their results were remarkable. By focusing on their most engaged listeners, they encouraged them to listen even more. On average, these loyal fans increased their listening time from 12 hours a week to 25 hours a week. Imagine the revenue generated by such a dedicated audience. The lesson here is clear. Focusing on the right customers, the ones who matter most to your business, can lead to exponential growth. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, aim to be indispensable to a few. It's not about how many people you reach. It's about reaching the right people in the right way. The top 10 business uses of the 80-20 principle. So far, we've learned how to apply the 80-20 principle to focus on the highest quality products, reduce costs on inefficient processes, and refine marketing and strategy. But the truth is, this principle can be applied in many other areas of business. After all, the core of business success lies in making the right decisions. If your business is struggling with multiple challenges, take a moment to pause and breathe. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, identify the most critical decision that needs to be made and focus solely on that. The key to making the right decision is asking the right questions. What's working and what's not? What challenges might we face in the future? If you make a decision that doesn't work, don't let stubbornness hold you back. Be quick to pivot and adapt. On the other hand, if a decision is yielding profits, ask yourself, how can I make this even more profitable? The 80-20 principle isn't just about identifying success, it's about maximizing it. One key area where the principle shines is inventory control. If you analyze your stock, you'll likely find that just 20% of your products generate 80% of your profits. So why waste money and space on the other 80% of products that barely contribute to your bottom line? Think about how much money is being tied up in those unproductive items. It's likely far more than you realize. The principle can also be applied to project management. Start by breaking down your projects into smaller, manageable tasks. Then, focus on the 20% of tasks that will deliver the most significant results. Setting clear deadlines can also be incredibly helpful, as it pushes you to achieve more in less time. Take the story of Robin Field, the head of Filofax, as an example. Filofax was a company that sold binders. In the 1980s, the company lost control of its operations. They expanded their stock to include all kinds of binder sizes, skins, and themes. On the surface, this might have seemed like a good strategy, offering customers more variety. But the results were disastrous. The company ended up with a massive inventory of products that no one wanted to buy. What's worse, the new binders they introduced were so complex that customers became confused and frustrated. Imagine how much money was wasted creating these expensive, overcomplicated binders, only for them to sit in storage, unsold. This failure highlighted a critical lesson. Stock management is vital to business success. By applying the 80-20 principle, Filofax could have focused on the 20% of products that were popular and profitable, eliminating unnecessary complexity and reducing waste. The vital few give success to you. Success doesn't come from luck. It's the result of hard work and a systematic approach. If you want to succeed, you need to seriously think about what truly generates profit and consciously let go of everything else that doesn't. Do you believe all your employees add the same value to your business? The truth is, not all employees contribute equally. Some add immense value, some do the bare minimum, and others may even harm your progress. The same applies to tasks. Not all tasks are equally important. Some drive profits, while others only distract you from what really matters. To achieve extraordinary results, you must stop thinking in terms of 50-50 and start applying the 80-20 principle. Focus 20% of your time, energy, resources, and attention on the 20% of activities, employees, and strategies that generate 80% of your profits. And remember, don't get stuck in the present. What works today may not work in the future. Start planning ahead and preparing for the changes to come. Train your mind to block out the unproductive 80% of activities in your life and business. This requires action, decisive and immediate action. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll see results. Here's a real-life example of how important decisions can transform outcomes. The author shares a story about a friend who struggled to distribute annual bonuses among employees. His friend knew that only 2 out of 100 employees were responsible for generating 50% of the firm's profits. However, he hesitated to reward these 2 employees more than the others, fearing backlash or appearing unfair, even though they clearly deserved it. Despite the author's advice to reward them based on merit, his friend chose to distribute the bonuses more evenly. Later, his analysis revealed that 1 employee contributed 0 profit to the firm. Logic dictated that this employee should have received no bonus, but instead, the bank's head decided to reward them due to personal likability. His decision was influenced by social relationships rather than merit, and it cost the firm dearly. Ironically, the firm was fortunate when that unproductive employee eventually left for another job. But this incident serves as a powerful example of what happens when businesses lack focus. The bank's head should have prioritized and invested in the vital few employees who were responsible for the majority of the profits. If he had, those employees could have driven even greater success for the firm. The takeaway is clear. Don't hesitate when it comes to business decisions. Be brave and focus on the vital few, the people, tasks, and strategies that have the potential to take your profits and success to new heights. Remember, success is about prioritization, not perfection. Being free. The 80-20 principle has the power to set you free. Instead of exhausting yourself with hard work and endless effort, you can achieve more by working smarter, not harder. With this principle, you can earn more money in less time. The key is to apply it seriously and consistently to your business and life. The goal isn't to use the 80-20 principle for a single benefit and then stop. The aim is to train your brain to think in this way permanently. Once you reach this mindset, every aspect of your life will operate at its maximum potential. When you start thinking this way, progress becomes inevitable. And progress isn't just about reaching goals. It's a positive mindset that makes life more enjoyable. You must understand that achieving your ambitions doesn't require sleepless nights or endless hours of work. You don't need to keep yourself busy all day to reach your goals. By using the 80-20 principle, you can live a smart, organized life where less effort leads to greater results. Progress equals freedom, but freedom doesn't mean settling where you are. The world is constantly evolving, and to stay at the top, you must embrace progress and continue striving for improvement. Edward Gibbon, The author of The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire is often regarded as a champion of progress. He believed that humans are never fully satisfied. They are always in pursuit of perfection. And perfection, he argued, can only be achieved through continuous progress. He concluded that wealth and happiness are always expanding, but only for those who keep moving forward. No matter how much money you make or how successful your business becomes, there will always be someone earning more or applying a better strategy. So why settle for good when you can aim for the best? The 80-20 principle is a proven strategy for achieving more with less. It has worked for countless individuals and businesses. Now it's your turn. Embrace it, apply it, and unlock the freedom, progress, and success you deserve. Conclusion. In this summary, you've learned powerful lessons that can truly transform your life. You've discovered that it's possible to achieve a fulfilling life by working smarter, not harder. By applying a few simple strategies, you can earn more while doing less. The key is to study your life and identify the areas that give you the most value. Whether it's money, time, or personal growth, the 80-20 principle can be applied to achieve success in any aspect of life. You've learned how to shift your strategy to focus on the vital few, the most important elements that drive your success. You've also discovered the beauty of simplicity and how thinking clearly and strategically can lead to extraordinary outcomes. If your business is large or complex, you must prioritize what's truly important and be willing to let go of what's holding you back. This may feel difficult, but it's the only way to stay at the top. Success requires courage. The courage to simplify and focus on what matters most. Imagine a life where you give just 20% of your effort and receive 80% of the results in return. There's no balance in this world. Those who think intelligently and act strategically are the ones who lead and succeed. So, be smart. Think 80-20. Apply this principle to your life and business and watch as it gives you the freedom, progress, and success you've always dreamed of. It's time to take control and rule your world. Thank you for tuning in to this audiobook summary of The 80-20 Principle, The Secret of Achieving More with Less by Richard Koch. I hope it's inspired you to rethink how you approach your time, energy, and focus, and shown you the incredible power of doing less to achieve more. The true beauty of the 80-20 principle lies in its simplicity. You don't need to be overwhelmed to succeed. Small, intentional actions can create massive, life-changing results. Now, it's your turn. Take the first step and start applying these lessons to your life today. If this summary resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was the most valuable takeaway for you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel and stay updated with future summaries. Remember, success is within your reach. Focus on what matters, take action, and keep moving forward. Until next time, stay inspired, keep growing, and make the most of every moment. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next audiobook summary.